Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I'm excited to share with you guys another fragrance review. Now you might be saying, if you're new to my channel, wait a minute, this guy reviews smart home stuff, watches, and now fragrances. Well, the site, my channel is called Fat Cat Collections, and basically it's a collection of everything that I collect and that I'm into. And so whenever I get a new product, I like to share it with you guys. And so I've always done fragrance reviews, and I've kind of veered off that a little bit because I've been focusing on the tech stuff. And then when I get a watch, I'll go back to that and review that. So you're going to see a big variety on the channel. When springtime comes around, I'm going to start reviewing the cars, because I haven't really done much with the review on the cars and stereos and different mods that I've done. And I want to put those videos up too. So stay tuned for that as well. But you're always going to see Cologne reviews on my channel. I'm a huge Cologne collector. I have about 150 in my collection right now. Not all full bottles, but some samples that I get sent to me from some of the niche houses. Other ones I buy, And the one I want to talk about today is a fragrance that Scentbird sent me, and they sponsored one of my videos, and I want to thank them again for sending me this. And Scentbird, if you don't know what they are, they're a $15 subscription, $15 per month subscription-based cologne house, and they send you one bottle, 8 milliliters, which if you do the math on that, about 4 sprays per day will get you 30 days of fragrance, and you get a new one every single month. And they have over 450 in their lineup. I definitely urge you to check out my link in the description and check out their site. I think it's a great service that allows you to get colognes in your collection that maybe you either can't afford or maybe you can't rationalize spending the money on, which is what the problem is with this one here. Because I wasn't going to sign up for Scentbird, but now I'm going to, because I requested this fragrance from them. And this is the one we're going to talk about today. Now, the fragrance I'm going to talk about today is called Interlude Man by Amouage. Now, lots of people have reviewed this. It's been around for quite some time, but it never hurts to give you guys my take on it. And one thing that I don't have the best nose. I can't tell you that I smell every single scent or ingredient in these colognes. But what I can tell you is just my opinion and whether or not I like it or not, and whether or not something I would consider buying and spending the money on. And, I have my favorites in my collection, and everybody has a different taste. So, my tastes tend to be more of the daring scents, ones that are unique. I like to smell different. I don't like to smell like the same guy who walked out of Macy's, you know what I mean? I like to get things that are different, and I tend to gravitate more towards those, what I call micro brand fragrance houses, which they're not mainstream, they're small, they don't have huge advertising, campaigns or pockets for advertising. It's more or less word of mouth, and they go to the shows and all that stuff. But like some of the ones like that I would consider micro-rare, like Paul Kyler perfumes and Zoologist, and a new one the other day that I just got sent, Agonist. I mean, the one we're going to talk about today, Amouage. They're some of them are bigger brands, but you don't always you can't always go into the mall and find them, which is great. And so this fragrance right here, again, was sponsored. This video was sponsored by Scentbird. They were nice enough to send me this fragrance, and I'm so glad they did, because this fragrance is unbelievable. Now, I like to blind buy fragrances a lot of times off eBay, and I'll look at the notes and see if it's something I'm going to like and take the chance on it. But this one here, I would never take the chance on it, because it's $200 for a bottle, and that's pretty expensive. And I have to tell you, again, I am blown away with this fragrance. Sometimes I get ones and I'm like, okay, I like that, I'll wear that. It smells like something else. This one doesn't smell like anything I have in my collection, and two, it is absolutely amazing. And some of the notes in this, just to hit you with a couple, are leather, frankincense, agarwood, and this fragrance, just based on those notes alone, it intrigued me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to like this, because those are notes that I really like. This is an incense-based fragrance. It's definitely a Middle Eastern style fragrance. If you look at some of the Middle Eastern fragrances where they use the incense and a lot of that agarwood, it definitely those are kind of iconic to being in Middle Eastern fragrances. So I knew I was going to like it, but when I popped the cap and sprayed it, my first impression was, wow, this is a warm, spicy, woody fragrance. And I loved it right off the bat. And what's interesting is that as it dried down, it changed. And that's where I got, right off the first blast, there's a lot of incense to it. And I'm just going to go ahead and refresh myself right now, because I am going to wear this today. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray a little on here and just get my initial impression here. And again, it's going to smell different on everyone's skin. But man, right off the bat, warm, just things to describe as sweet, warm, woody, rich, very spicy, and oh man, it's just, this is a fabulous, fabulous fragrance. So without me going too far here, let me just read you just some of the notes that are in here. This and what they say on the Amouage site. Not a lot of information on it on the Amouage site, if I can say that, if I can pronunciate it right. This is what they say about it though. They say, inspired by chaos and disorder, this spicy and woody fragrance masquerades as an interlude moment of harmony in its heart. You know, all fragrances have a little spiel about, you know, their, I guess their, you know, a spiel about what, I guess, inspired the fragrance, if I'm saying that right. So your top notes are bergamot, oregano, pimento berry oil. Your heart notes are amber, frankincense, citrus, and opopanax, if I'm saying that right. Your base notes are leather, agarwood, smoke, patchouli, and sandalwood. So I chose this one based on the leather, the wood, and the smokiness. And this one here definitely has a, like right now, as this is starting to just kind of come down a little, the frankincense really comes out in this. Like you can definitely, I think it's one of the stronger parts of this fragrance is the frankincense and the smoke. And then now I can start to smell the leather really coming out. And once this just dries down a little bit, in my opinion, this becomes just a leather powerhouse. Leather is a hard one in colognes. At least a lot of the ones I've smelled that say they have leather, I can never smell them. And of the ones I have that I can say I can smell, I have one that's a Tom Ford Tuscan leather copy or a fake, basically. It's under its own name. I forget the name of it, but it is the closest thing I've found to Tom Ford Tuscan leather, and it is one of my favorites. I mean, it is right on. And my coworker, he has it, and he smelled it. He's like, yeah, dude, that's right there. And so that one was like 20 bucks a bottle. So that one is fantastic fragrance, and that one's super strong in leather. The other fragrance out of my collection is Fahrenheit, Dior Fahrenheit. That one there is just a classic. I have an original bottle. There's not much left from back in like 1996. And that thing, even when you pop the cap down, it is just leather on leather. Some of the other fragrances I have that are supposed to be leather based, like Dirty English, can hardly smell any leather in that. So a lot of times the leather isn't really prominent, and this fragrance, this is just raw leather. You can just smell that smokiness, that warm, creamy, spicy. This is one of the best fragrances that I've ever smelled. And like I said, I have a lot of fragrances in my lineup, and this one here is definitely one for the collection. Now, $200 for a bottle of cologne. If you go to their website, for 100 ml, it looks like $310. You can find it cheaper online. I always put links in the description where you get this. So if you guys like fragrances that are similar to what I like, then you guys are gonna love this fragrance. Now, it doesn't smell like anything that I have, but it does remind me of one. And if you're, let's just say you like my video and you get really excited and say, man, I really want to buy this, and you just jump the gun, click the link and buy it, then great. If you want to try this, sign up for Scentbird, 15 bucks. I'll put a link in the description in there as well. And you can actually order this and know if you like it or not, like I did, and then now I know that I love it, so I'm gonna have to buy a full bottle at some point. There's no question about it. This is a fantastic fragrance, and nobody's really making anything that smells like it. So, but I will say one thing you can try if you've never really tried some of the fragrances in this category that are like this. One thing I can recommend, although I don't have anything that smells like exactly like this, or that I could say, okay, I can't tell the difference. You guys have seen my other videos. Sometimes I'll get a new cologne, I'll blind buy something, I'll be like, whoa, this reminds me, this smells exactly like this other one I got. And sometimes when you get involved in those cheaper fragrances that are under different names, sometimes you wonder if one person's making it under this name, another company's taking that same fragrance, putting it in a different bottle. But this one here, you're not gonna get that. There's no doubt, this is Interlude Man. This doesn't smell like anything I've ever smelled. And right now I'm just, it's potent, it's powerful. A lot of cologne on my skin never really lasts. I wore this to work the other day. I got 10 hours out of this easy, no problem. And that was only with 3 sprays. Normally my colognes that I wear, I go like 10, And so, I don't know. I'm not sure why. It's just the way it is. But this is a great quality fragrance, and I absolutely love it if I haven't made that clear enough. But what I was going to say was, if you've never experienced a fragrance like this, and you're like, okay, well, maybe you don't want to sign up for Scentbird, and that's okay. Maybe you don't want to go out and buy the bottle, okay? But if you've never experienced fragrances like this with the agarwood, the sweetness, the creaminess, the spiciness, there's one fragrance I could recommend that you try that's going to be under 20 bucks for 100 mils, and it's going to give you a similar vibe. Doesn't smell like it, but it's going to give you a similar vibe. And that one is by Remy Latour, and that one's called Black Wood. And that one there is, if I could think of anything in my collection that this kind of reminds me of, it's Black Wood. And I definitely would urge you to check that one out, because if you don't know if you like these notes, that's a good way to check it out without spending a lot of money. I think you can get that cologne for about $15 on eBay. So definitely check that one out. Black Wood by Remy Latour. But again, that's nothing like this. This one here is completely different. It just has a similar kind of vibe I get from it. This one here is just way smokier. You have your frankincense. I mean, yeah, you can that's just blasting off my arm right now. I mean, the leather in this, the wood. And what's awesome about this fragrance is that this shirt here I wore the other day, and it was probably like 3 days ago, and I just had a little bit of it on the back. And when I picked up the shirt, you could just smell the wood coming off it. So it was like I was in a woodworking shop. So it definitely lingers, definitely hangs around, and it definitely changed, because when I smelled it just on the shirt, I knew it was Interlude, man, but I was like, okay, well, it doesn't have, the leather was gone from it at that point. 3 days, it's a long time, and it just smelled differently. But it still smelled amazing, even after that 3-4 days of dry down. So fantastic cologne. If I didn't make that clear enough, I definitely, like I said in my other cologne videos, I always say, well, would I buy this? Would I spend the money on this? For my personal taste, yes, I would, and I'm going to. This one here is for me, it's a no-brainer. I love it. I love it, and I need it. So, all right, guys, well, thank you very much for watching. Once again, Interlude, man, by Amouage. I'm excited to sign up for Scentbird and check out some of their other fragrances as well. Awesome cologne house. I reached out to them, see if they can send me some samples, but I didn't hear back. I think I'll just have to bug them a little bit more. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. Take care.